Hi, my name's Kelly. I am with Love Boldly's Q&A panel, hashtag asking for a friend, and this is where we answer questions that straight or cisgender Christians may feel uncomfortable asking the LGBTQIA plus community. So today's question is, do you think it's healthy for young people to experiment with different expressions of gender and sexuality to see what best fits? And I think the answer to this is definitely yes. Allow young people and children to experiment with gender identity and sexuality, as long as it's not hurting anybody. And I think especially with something like gender identity that forms or like the awareness forms at such a young age, as early as like 2 or 3 years old. It's such a critical time in your development, and like if now like there's like a pretty strong scientific consensus that if you don't if you don't allow your children to freely experiment with gender identity, like the suicide risks and self-harm risks are so high. Same with sexuality. With when your sexuality is like suppressed as a kid, it's so traumatizing, which I can like a personal experience with. Like it's extremely hard. I wouldn't want anyone else to go through that, which is why we're doing this kind of stuff to educate people. Um, but I think another thing too is I also think back to my childhood, and like I had a brother, and often him and I we would play with our sister's Barbies in our dollhouse, and I grew up to be non-binary and bisexual, and he grew up to be cis and straight. And so my point being with that is that just because you like play with Barbies as a kid or like you experiment with like different gender roles, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to grow up to be queer. So I think it goes to show that like a little experimentation is different. Everybody's experiences are different. Um, and I I would really just want a world where we're not imposing so many like gender rules on children, because I think it sticks with you for so long. Like I remember one time when I was in church and someone told me that I shouldn't cross my legs like a lady because that's what women do. And after so many of those like small comments and experiences, they build up in a way that is very difficult to deconstruct, and that is very distressing for a young person to go through. Um, so talk to your kids about it. Let them know if they're in an environment where it may be unsafe for them. Also, have that conversation and say, like, I'm happy that you're experimenting with this. This is how you be safe. Um, this is how people might react. And these are the things that you should say when people react negatively or when you're bullied. And these are the safe people that you should go to when you find yourself in those situations. So, yeah, thanks for asking.